How does a pawn storm create threats? Have you ever wondered how a simple pawn can turn into a powerful weapon in chess? The answer lies in the concept of a pawn storm. A pawn storm is when a player pushes their pawns forward aggressively, often aiming to attack the opponent's king or disrupt their defense. This strategy creates threats in several important ways. First, let's talk about opening lines for attack. Pawns usually protect the king and control space on the board. When you advance your pawns in a storm, you aim to break through the opponent's defenses. This can lead to exchanges or captures that open up files and diagonals. Once those lines are open, your stronger pieces like rooks, queens, and bishops can move in and launch direct attacks on the king or other key targets. Next, advancing your pawns can create weaknesses in your opponent's position. When you push your pawns, your opponent must respond, which can force them to weaken their own pawn structure. This might leave holes in their defense that you can exploit later. For instance, if they capture or push their pawns in a way that leaves squares undefended, those squares become tactical targets for your pieces. Another benefit of a pawn storm is gaining space and initiative. By pushing your front line forward, you gain control over that side of the board. This restricts your opponent's piece mobility and gives you more room to maneuver. With more space and open lines, you can generate threats more quickly and keep the pressure on your opponent. Pawn storms are particularly effective when kings are castled on opposite sides. In these situations, each player has a wall of pawns near their king for defense. A pawn storm aims to break down this wall on your opponent's side, opening lines to their king while keeping your own king safe behind its pawn barrier. This often leads to sharp tactical battles where the first player to successfully open lines gains a strong advantage. Sometimes, advancing your pawns can lead to creating passed pawns. Passed pawns are those that have no opposing pawns blocking their path to promotion. These pawns are powerful threats that force your opponent to divert resources to stop them. The pressure from a pawn storm can also lead to errors or unfavorable exchanges, resulting in material gain for you. Lastly, a pawn storm may involve sacrificing one or more pawns to open critical lines or squares. These sacrifices can be worth it if they lead to a direct attack on the king or a winning tactical sequence. The willingness to sacrifice material during a pawn storm shows your aggressive intent to create immediate threats. In practical terms, a pawn storm is often launched when the center of the board is closed or locked. This makes flank attacks more effective. Timing and coordination with your other pieces are key to maximizing the pressure generated by your advancing pawns. In summary, a pawn storm creates threats by breaking down the opponent's defenses, opening lines for powerful pieces, creating weaknesses to exploit, gaining space and initiative, targeting the king, and sometimes creating passed pawns or sacrificing material for a direct attack. This combination of factors makes the pawn storm a powerful strategy in chess.